go on a couple's retreat.
Tip, why did you call Makoto a dude?
Sanibonani, Dumelang, hello molweni, igama lami ngulwazi, and today I'm going to be talking about how the women struggle to hold one another accountable at various points throughout this season. I'm going to address the number of occasions where they did not, and a few of the occasions where they almost did hold one another accountable. So stick around.
I had totally given up. Aren't you also just beautiful? But you're here with me.
It can be a blessing and a curse at the same time.
That is so true.
Okay, no, I get you.
The prettier you are, the worse it gets.
The more they
Because
show
I
you.
feel like pretty girls, they all just want to taste and not commit.
In episode 1, Makoto says men just want to taste the cookie, but not necessarily commit. You will notice that the other women say nothing. They don't say, oh my gosh, yeah. Or say, yeah, that happens to me all the time, but this and this and this is what I do. It was quiet. And my question was, why aren't you guys questioning her? Why aren't you trying to find out what her approach to dating is, how she is vetting the people that she dates, and how maybe she could add extra parameters while in the talking stage in order to prevent being used or ending up in relationships? Well, it's not even becoming relationships actually, because she said that there's no commitment. So yeah, I would have loved to see them maybe make some recommendations or at least challenge her stance, since they are also beautiful women and they don't experience what she's experiencing.
Yeah.
Why did you leave?
You know, when you no longer feel attracted to a person. Ne?
That's the worst.
That is the
Were
worst.
you not sleeping in separate bedrooms and stuff?
Yeah, I was sleeping on the couch. I was in the main bedroom.
Was it that bad?
Girl, it was that bad.
Portia said the attraction died 1 year into her marriage, and they asked, were you guys sleeping in separate bedrooms? She says, yeah, it was so bad that he was sleeping on the couch and I was sleeping in the master bedroom. No one asks what changed. What could possibly go so bad just months in or 1 year into this marriage for it to result in people sleeping separately and them filing for divorce? No. No one asked, what did you do to revive it? What did you guys try? Did you go to therapy or counseling? What if attraction dies in this new marriage? What will you do? What did you learn about yourself that you improved or worked on? Lord. And I find it particularly interesting that no questions are being asked, because when a man says he's no longer attracted to his woman, all kinds of things are immediately discussed. He is foul, that woman was there for you, and especially if she's, given birth to some children, and that's part of why the attraction has died. He would never hear the end of it. What I'm asking is, why aren't we challenging one another as women? And also, why are the women telling half-truths? Why are they preventing the women from holding them accountable? Because you'll find out that they bring more context and they share more with the experts and not with one another.
Oh, I don't think I knew what I wanted at that point. What makes you think that you're ready for marriage?
I've always been ready for marriage. I think marriage is beautiful. The problem is who you marry.
Palesa says she's always been ready for marriage, even though she didn't know what she wanted, and it's more about who you marry. The women actually are like, yeah, when she says it's about who you marry. whoever you marry, this super amazing person that you've been praying for years, who is he marrying? Are you the best version of yourself? What have you worked on to make sure that Mr. Beautiful and tall, dark and handsome and smart and whatever, what have you done to make sure that he also has the kind of wife that he's praying for? Why aren't we asking one another those questions as women? No one asked, how is it that you didn't know what you wanted, but you were ready for marriage? How does that work exactly? And she is actually willing to share that with the experts, that yes, I didn't know what I wanted, and actually I wasn't ready. No one said to her, what are the skills that you've had since birth that make you such a great partner? What did you learn about yourself in that previous marriage that you're definitely bringing into this next marriage? Nothing was said. Instead, at this first encounter that the women have, they sit in awe of one another, and they sit positioning themselves for comfort and sympathy or empathy, which is not a place for accountability in any way.
You know, a part of me feels like they were bragging a lot about him. He travels a lot. You will chase everyone. I travel for a living.
Anything goes, babe.
It came out as like, yeah, but this is the life I live.
Portia says they were bragging about Bongani, and she's quite annoyed by this. They ask, what were they bragging about? What does he do? And she doesn't give solid answers about why they were bragging. She does answer their question about what he does. My question is, have you considered that since you and Bongani haven't been doing great, they thought that they were being his wingman? Have you considered that they thought that they are going to butter you up and show you that you're coming into a warm place, a place of being protected and taken care of? Do you not think that they were saying these things to show you that they're on your side? Hence them saying, oh, he must give you the card and the pin and the this and then that. Part of these things they were saying were obviously just jokes. It was a very jovial, day. Part of it, I truly believe, was the sisters thinking that they're going to be their brother's wingman and they're going to win this woman over. The approach clearly didn't land, but I think that she didn't want it to land.
Did your man go on holiday recently with the kids?
I don't know about it. No, I don't.
Because I heard that he went on holiday with the baby mom and the kids.
That's news to me.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
Before it gets out of hand.
Mm.
But Sadi Abaiti boundary game.
Yeah.
A beautiful moment happens where the ladies are bringing to attention to Unelisa that Themba has a very strange relationship with the mother of his children. And they talk about the holiday, and she genuinely doesn't know about this family holiday where Themba and the mother of his children and the children were all away. They speak about the dynamics, and she protects him and says he's a good man. He was just doing the things he was doing because he had no need for boundaries. Portia says, you need to fix that. You need to make sure that boundaries are put in place in order to protect your marriage. That right there was a beautiful moment of not necessarily holding Nelisa accountable, but giving some solid advice and showing her that we're not saying your marriage is bad. We're not saying Themba is awful. We are bringing to your attention something that could lead to your marriage crumbling that you need to address. This is a very positive way that Portia does it, whereas when Makoto does it, she does not take into consideration the fact that this is a sensitive topic, so she can't just joke about it, and she can't just say to Nelisa, yeah, your guy, he's trash. You don't know him, you don't have the full context, so maybe tread carefully and ask questions and bring it to her attention with proper advice. You know, that's the two different things that we can put side by side. And Unelisa actually does listen to Portia, whereas she feels attacked by Makoto and even says, Makoto usile. She is being cruel.
He's telling people that Palesa is trying to change him, or but as I say this thing of eating healthy, I exercise, and that's not who he is. So Palesa, has she seen herself in the morning without makeup?
I have to deal with him when he's naked. No, people must come correct them by bare hand. Come on, guys, we can all be mean.
Things get messy. The women are talking about Utepo, and they're saying some of the things that he has said that they did not take kindly to, including the fact that he made disrespectful remarks about his wife, saying that me without makeup and waking up next to her is not great, right? They all hate that he said this. And their solution is, let's say mean things about him too. So they start talking about his body and body shaming him. Makoto says, it's not body shaming, we're advising one another. No one said anything. Everyone thinks this is funny, everyone's having a good time at his expense, but they weren't enjoying when he was saying horrible things about her and enjoying himself at her expense. Portia says he feels insecure about himself, so he's using Palesa to make himself feel better. And I think that that's a very good observation. Most of the time, bullies are people who are deeply insecure and are using other people to make themselves feel better. However, is that not what is happening at this lunch that they are having? The couch session is the exact thing that they don't like. Another moment that I'm very happy about is that Portia admits that she hasn't been sleeping home because she hasn't been enjoying Bongani's mood swings. Nelisa says to Portia, you can't do that. You're a married woman. You don't have the option to just go sleep at home because aksekho mnandi ekhaya. Loved it. It was quick, it was simple, it was straight to the point, and Portia does admit in her confessional that, yeah, no, I shouldn't have done that. Makoto says, you're not even really married, you don't have to do nothing. What are we trying to achieve? They may not be in a good place right now, Ubongani and Portia, but is the point not to build towards a good place? Are we not trying to help these relationships and salvage what can be salvaged and at least leave them at peace with one another?
This is a boy. He's yet to be. Listen, you insult your husband all the time.
I do,
Never
but
say,
like, okay, excuse.
So don't say,
I'm sorry.
Nugget, I'm done.
Sorry.
When I'm done, I will say what I want to say.
There's been a fallout at the Mias, and Palesa is now at Makoto's place. Makoto asks Nkululeko, what did you and Tepo speak about since you said that you guys spoke? Nkululeko starts saying, we didn't speak. She does not let that man even explain what he means. She goes off on him. And this is not the first time that she has disrespected him. No one said anything when she disrespected him at the dinner, bringing such a sensitive topic to the table, then saying He doesn't satisfy me, and I think we should have an open marriage. How is that statement helping your marriage? How does it contribute meaningfully to the situation that you're in? Have you explored all the avenues to see what you guys could do to make things better? I don't think that these things were being done, and everyone allowed it to just be. It just sat on the table as this uncomfortable thing, and they left it at that. Everyone has seen Makoto be disrespectful in her marriage many a time, and I am yet to see even once where someone said to her, hey, you need to speak better about your husband and to your husband if you want this marriage to work. I have never heard that. This day, Tepo is done speaking and sharing his perspective on where the marriage is. Palesa says something disrespectful to him, and Makoto says, whoa. Palesa turns around and says, you are the last person to tell me how to speak to my husband. You disrespect Nkululeko constantly. Why is this the first time you're bringing this up? Why is this the first time that you tell Makoto that the way she speaks to her husband is unacceptable? Why is that? And she keeps quiet because she admits that she is disrespectful in the way she speaks to her husband. Why are you not holding yourself accountable? If you're aware of this and people are seeing this and they're saying it, you are aware of what disrespect looks like because you have told your friend not to disrespect her husband. Why are you disrespecting your husband?
You can answer questions without being disrespectful, and I feel like Makoto is super disrespectful.
Radio presenter ya ko Radio 2000, and it turns out that you just have a segment.
I'm going to call this dinner The Last Supper Part 1, where all the couples are sitting at the table and they're discussing or answering the questions that have been brought forward that apparently were written by their fellow co-stars. Nah. So, when they ask Nkululeko if he's just here to revive his acting career, Makoto takes a left and says horrible things to demean the acting career that she knows nothing about, right? And Portia actually says in her confessional that Makoto is disrespectful. Why didn't she say it to her friend? Because Makoto and Portia actually do get along. Why did she not say this to her friend? Why is she only saying it in her confessional? Why are we not holding one another accountable, especially as people who do get along? The question is asked to Portia why she and Wongani aren't moving things further along physically. And she says, I am taking the time, we are taking the time to build the emotional intimacy of this relationship before we can get there. The experts are like, what a lovely answer. The people at the table are pleased with this answer. Why are these people pleased with this answer when it is the exact same thing that Nkululeko said he wanted to do in his marriage, and they said that he was being selfish for doing that? Why are we being hypocritical? The reasoning is the exact same reasoning. And in this situation, they expect Ubongani to be patient and to also participate in building the emotional intimacy of this relationship. But no one expected Makoto to be patient and to build her emotional intimacy in her marriage. Why is that? Why are we not asking questions? Another thing about the intimacy conversation is that the men, being Nkululeko and Tepo, were off to the side talking about the intimacy issues, and they were actually offering solutions. Utepo says to him, maybe consider this marriage as part of your journey, as part of your sexual journey, and don't put so much pressure on it. On the other side, oh, and they even mentioned that, no, I'm going to go to a men's clinic. I'm showing her that I am committed to this and I am attracted to her and I do want this to work. On the other side, Makoto and Portia are having a blast, laughing at the fact that Nkululeko might be gay or maybe might just be into petite girls. They weren't trying to get light-skinned men. They even say that he wanted to wait 2 months on purpose to avoid anyone knowing that he has some sort of physical impairment. They aren't exploring options. They're not trying to find solutions. Instead, it's I want to soothe myself at his expense. I want to prove that I'm not the issue. He should be attracted to me because I'm a woman, so it must be him. Nothing here is constructive. Nothing here is bringing solutions to the table, and nothing here is even exploring what the possible issues could be so that those issues could be addressed. And none of the girls say, you know what, maybe let's just make an appointment with the sexologist. They have a sexologist on the panel of experts that they could be speaking to instead of waiting, if there's a waiting period for the men's clinic. None of this is said. Portia, who is waiting and building intimacy in her marriage, doesn't say, babe, maybe you should try build on the emotional intimacy, and then everything else will fall in line. Are we really accountable as women? Are we holding our friends accountable for the way they act and the things they say? Are we sharing the full story when we tell stories so that we can be held accountable for the parts that we contribute? What's happening?